Good morning, sir. How is the Red River these days?
Well, I feel like we're old vets now. We've been in it for a year and getting ready to go into our second season of the Red River Conference. And it was a good first year for us, and that we were very competitive. And it was just nice to be in a conference that made sense for us geographically.
With all the sports now that have been added, how did they survive through their first conference schedule, real conference schedule?
Well, I mean, specifically, soccer finished third in the league and then third in the conference tournament. I actually got beat in the semis to go to the finals, which would have qualified them for the NAI national tournament. Volleyball finished, I think, tied for fourth, as did we. Women's basketball in their first year struggled. But other than that, I thought they had a good first year. And then men's and women's golf. The Red River is very interesting, especially in men's golf. You got four teams of national prominence. Then our Celts, who is a brand new program, and then another school that struggles. So it's kind of a strange dynamic. But we had a good first year. It was a learning experience. You start to figure out, your opponents and build rivalries and everything. But I thought it was a great year.
The two specific sports, I guess that's been prominent here on campus, has been women's volleyball and men's basketball. The survival rate is going well, I presume, as far as actually dealing with, a set schedule. You got a non-conference and then you got a conference schedule, dealing with set schedule.
Right. The Red River's interesting. Volleyball is different. They only play everybody in the league once. Okay. So that's a very strange deal. So they have a lot of non-conference games. Of course, in volleyball, you'll go play 2 or 3 matches over a weekend, too, so you get a lot in over a weekend. Basketball is the exact opposite for both us and the women. We have 24 league games. That's a lot of league games, and only 6 non-conference games that we play. So each sport's a little bit different. I think volleyball is getting ready to reevaluate that and maybe play everybody twice, but there's some things they need to look into.
Has signage and sponsorship picked up since you've arrived into a real conference?
It has. It's something we've done more through the university. As an athletic department, it's going to be a focus of ours in the next coming months. We've been able to pick up the sponsorship and signage and support through our institutional advancement office mostly.
How is volunteer help coming along?
It's good, but we can always use more. I need a volunteer coach. I've had 3 years. I've had great help, and I've been very fortunate and had good volunteer assistant coaches. Right now, I'm actually currently looking, but volleyball's got a terrific volunteer assistant, and then soccer actually has 2 or 3 that have been helping out.
Your volleyball program got prominent enough to you lost your head coach. Yeah. You picked up a new one. Where are they?
That's been a tough transition, and the reason is just that Trent got the HBU job very late in the year, late in the spring, which is a very important time for us in recruiting. Without an assistant coach, all of a sudden there's a real stoppage in the program. So Callie Noble, our new head coach, comes to us from Tulane University. Great background. I think she's going to have a great career here and do a real good job. But because of the timing of it, we don't have as many girls on the team right now. We've only got 10. So health is a concern, and just keeping everybody ready to play and stuff. So that was a strange deal. It was unfortunate. I think it's going to help us hopefully get either some sort of full-time assistant coaches in place fairly quickly, whether it be GAs or something like that.
I understand one of your graduates got an opportunity to try out for the ESL.
Yeah, Jeremy Lewis was a senior for us last year. He was our leading scorer, straight Jesuit kid, was with us for 3 years, was invited and participated in the Euro League, one of the Euro League summer camps, and did a good job. And I want to say averaged a little over 10 points a game, and we're super excited for him. We're hoping something comes of it. It's a tough business right now with just playing overseas and more people trying to do it, and the rule changes and the NBA lockout, I think, is still affecting. So I don't think he'll find out if he has an opportunity to play somewhere or not for a little while, but he's preparing himself very well.
All right, now let's get over to straight up sports. Your specific sport in particular, men's basketball. How did the summer go?
I think we have a strange dynamic. We've got we've got 10 kids returning, 8 of who played last year significant minutes, and then 2 that had played the year before some pretty significant minutes. So we've got essentially 10 kids coming back that have all helped us win basketball games in the past. At the same time, we lose 2 good ones. Anthony Medina and Jeremy Lewis were both seniors for us last year, were our 2 leading scorers. So it's an interesting dynamic. I think we have a lot back, but yet we lose 2 very important pieces to our puzzle last year. Most importantly, we met as a team yesterday. I think our ability to shoot the ball is going to be very important. We lost our 2 best shooters. We'll defend just as well or better than we did last year, and I think we'll be able to score, but will we be able to score from the perimeter and stretch the defense and open things up? I think that's going to be an important thing for us.
How much of a change do you see this year in the Red River as far as competition?
Well, Our Lady of the Lake, which is a relatively new program, won the league. They return a lot of kids, so they're going to be strong again. Texas Wesleyan and LSU Shreveport have been dominant programs in the Red River since HBU got out of it. And both of those teams have new coaches and a lot of turnover. I think they have 2 young coaches that are going to work very hard and probably have their programs pretty competitive again. But you never know with a change in coach, just like with our volleyball, and a lot of new kids. So it'll be interesting. I think Southwestern Assemblies of God have really improved their status with scholarship money and a new head coach in Donnie Boswick. And Wiley is always very competitive. After that, I really actually think Langston sticks out to me. They got a young coach, Nigel Thomas, who I think does a terrific job. And then it's kind of who brought who in and who's going to be eligible and who mixes with who. So
one last thing: any changes in rule makeups this year?
We talk about that every year. No real significant changes. Little things for coaches. The arc is now mandatory for your court. Now coaches are used to playing with it for a year, and the 3-point line now has kind of been the same distance for a couple of years now. And so those are the real only serious rules changes that have affected us recently. But I don't think there's going to be a whole lot coming. I don't have to worry about that one and done issue that's going on right now. So that's a good thing. But I think it's going to be pretty standard.
The 3-point line, that was just, I guess the reason it comes to mind because of the Olympics this year.
Yeah.
It's a difference. It's a difference in space. It's also a difference as the shot line itself. How much has it helped hindered guys and all becoming so much of a specialist rather than an all-around shooter or scorer?
I don't think the distance from the old, 19.9 to
Right.
29, I don't think that affected colleges a lot. I think the good shooters were able to take that extra foot back. It is interesting as they go to the next level and have to play in the NBA. That's a different deal. I mean, then all of a sudden that line really affects it, and like you said, you start to get specialists, and you see who can really shoot with a little range and stuff like that. A side note, I just thought the Olympics were very interesting, Jerry, and how easy it was for some of those guys to shoot that shot, wasn't it? I mean, it was just it was interesting to watch as a coach to see. I mean, that was just like almost a layup for Durant and stuff. So we don't have a whole lot of those just yet. No Durants here, but hopefully.
No Carmelo Anthony's.
Yeah. No, those guys could shoot that very well. So.
Is there anything else I hadn't asked about St. Thomas University's athletic or academic program or campus itself?
I'm just excited about us going into our second year. Almost every year we've had some change, with either an addition of a sport or an addition of a coach. And with the exception of Trent moving on, we finally have the same sports back and we have an idea of what to expect in the same league. So I'm really looking forward to just continuing to build the rivalries and the friendships in the Red River and see how we function as a second-year program. Golf and women's basketball both interest me very much because those are sports that when you're in your first year, there's so much learning and the learning curve is huge, and now all of a sudden you got an idea. So I'm very interested and excited about the steps they'll take. And then for us, my team personally, we had our first winning season, and our goal is to build on that and hopefully make it to the national tournament. Whereas soccer and volleyball are just trying to get back to where they were a little more dominant in the independent league. The Red River has some teams, Texas Brownsville, who won the national championship in volleyball. they're very, very good. So I'm looking forward to our second year in the Red River with kind of the same coaches and a lot of the same kids back.
And the reason I'm all over the place with asking questions is because this young man holds two hats at the same time, and we'll close out. Introduce yourself, and we'll finish.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. Right now, my title, my name's Todd Smith, and my title is head men's basketball coach and athletic director. And I've coached my whole life at Rice for 18 years, and I'm hoping and looking forward to splitting the jobs and either having an AD on board with us or a new head basketball coach sometime in the near future.
And your name, sir?
Todd Smith.
And this is Jerry Lee Woodley Jr. with the College Sports Report on campus at St. Thomas University, Houston, Texas.